streaming. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Another day on the battlefield. Woo! Make some noise. Says the Bible says God sent the praisers out first because praise confused the enemy. Let's make some noise up in here. We got this. God got this. We are on a mission that will not fail. All right, I'm excited. I don't know who else is excited. Tonight, we're going to talk about a massive problem that's going on and facing in America, and not only America, but around the world. But it's becoming an epidemic in America, the richest country in the world, the home of the brave, the free, and the brave. Men and women who serve this country valiantly are ending up on the streets. 1 in 4 men who are homeless is a veteran. That's not acceptable. The rate of homeless population that is comprised of senior citizens have risen by 20% over the last couple of weeks. And it is slated to continue to rise. This is not acceptable. The plight of the people with disabilities whose only crime is they outlive their caregiver, or the government cut funding to the programs that were helping them. This is shameful. So we are here tonight to shed some light on this problem, but more importantly, we are here to shed some light on some solutions, permanent solutions, viable solutions, self-sustaining solutions. Because we can beat on the problem all day long, and the problem is going to be the problem. Or we can come up with some solutions and make some changes. And so that brings us to our campaign, our 1 in 1 million Founders Club. And now we need to make some noise on that. The people who know what that is need to be making some noise. People who don't know what it is, once you know what it is, you'll be making some noise. But just change can make a change. Just $1 a week, making a commitment of $1 a week can, as in our Founders Club, will be responsible for helping to bring this permanent solution into fruition. Change will make a change. A big problem that can be solved with a little stone. David took down Goliath with a little smooth stone. This is our smooth stone. We are David, and homelessness is Goliath. So we're going to start off by sharing the new face of homelessness, because some people, have an aversion to helping homeless people because they believe that homeless people are comprised of drug addicts and criminals. That's what they believe homeless people are. They don't understand that homeless people are senior citizens who, through no fault of their own, because their rent was raised or their spouse passed away, and their disability or SSI do not cover the increase and rise in rent or the increase in mortgage interest. And so they cannot afford their homes. Not because they're lazy, they paid into the system. They did what they were supposed to do. and society is now failing them. And veterans, simply because they're not getting their benefits, or their benefits is not enough to provide housing. Many of them suffer from PTSD. So it's hard for them to hold a job and even maintain and stay in a house with other people. I tell you. So the 1 in a Million Founders Club, we're going to be talking about that and how you can participate with as little as $1 a week. And we have some other stuff. Lizelle is going to be talking about our long-term permanent solution, and also about our tiny villages. We are on a mission, and we're not going to quit until it's done. We're inviting you to lock arms with us and join the fight. Lizelle, did you want to bring up the couple of words with the people while I find the video?
I just want to say, as you're watching the video she's about to share, keep in mind that this is a younger person who's more physically fit to be living in the streets. But this is an indication of how homelessness can happen to anybody. If you think you're above it, I don't think there's anybody right now above the possibility of becoming homeless. Situations change, circumstances, events happen that cause unpredictable outcomes. I don't think there's anybody that should consider themselves to be totally safe today from not experiencing homelessness, which brings me to the point of why it's so important that we do what we're asking you to do here, that everybody come together and do this, because we need to create a lot of affordable housing, and a lot of housing for people who, I mean, we got people out there trying to live on maybe less than $300 a month. There's no way. And to be able to eat on that, and when you don't have a home and a place to cook, the cost of food is even more. And so a lot of times people rely on the kindness of others to hand out food, people coming by handing out food, but that doesn't always guarantee you're going to get a meal every day. Maybe somebody doesn't come that day to bring you a meal. So there's a lot of adversity to being homeless. It's a very, very hard life to live. And with so many senior citizens now entering that population, they are so vulnerable. And one of the things that I find very, very upsetting is the abuse that they suffer because they are so vulnerable, so easily victimized. There's a lot of evil, wicked people out there that just do things that are unbelievable. And you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine the kind of things they do to some of these very, very vulnerable people, disabled people in wheelchairs, being physically abused. You know, we need to get them somewhere safe. So watch this video, hang around, and consider joining hands with us and helping us educate other people, telling other people what's happening, that homelessness has changed. It's not just people who are drug addicts, alcoholics, and with criminal history. It's a whole different genre of people, elderly people who worked all their life and paid into the tax system. And now they're being forced to live in the streets because they do not have enough Social Security income to afford housing. So, Gwen, are we ready? Did we lose Gwen? I don't even see her up here. Do we have Gwen on the call?
I'm here. I'm
There she
here.
is.
And
Okay.
I think this may be the video. I'm going to take the share
Okay.
button, and let's see if this is the right video. There are quite a few of them to wade
Very
through.
last one I sent you is a real indication that this can happen to anyone. That's
Is
not
this
the
it?
one. No,
Okay.
no. In that
Let's see if I can find it, because it's not the last one.
maybe it didn't go all the way through.
It may not have come through.
The zone. It's from Jefferson to
That is not
So
it.
I mean, if that gives you an indication, you can read that headline right there, what's happening to people. It's all over the news. It was after that one.
Yeah, it's not
It was
there.
it didn't come through yet. Okay. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me just a moment. I don't know if I can actually do
If
that
you want to see if you
here.
can send it to me, that'll work too.
It should have already gone through to you. Just give me 1 second here. And
Okay, in the meantime, while Ozell is looking for that, we'll talk about some of the projects that we have going on in Bless and Be Blessed, which is the
story that you had found tonight.
charity.
Take a look at these images just released tonight. I was so
Here, let's get that up.
well, Gwen, all the ones I sent you did not go through. So give me one moment. I'm still
Okay.
I have to go to another area to find that.
While Gwen while Liza is doing that, I'd like to say that
Okay.
yes. Good morning.
from my perspective, being a veteran myself, from my perspective, and looking at the homeless situation and how veterans specifically are being treated, not to mention the senior population, which I'm also a part of, and the disabled. It's, as Liza said, appalling to see how how homeless people are being treated, how we as a country are marginalizing and ignoring our fellow citizens who are unhoused. Because that's what homelessness is. It's unhoused. Homelessness is being unhoused. And when you find that our country, our government, and all those you think would be there for you to help you, when you find that, it's an even, I think it compounds the problem. It compounds what the homeless person is going through, because the dependency that you were told you could count on, and you could let yourself be dependent on the country to take care of you if it ever got down to where you needed the help, and you find it's not there. I think that exacerbates everything and just makes it even worse. So from my perspective, I see veterans all over the place, especially here in Chicago where I'm at. And I see homeless veterans all the time in the streets. And when I speak with them, they always tell me the same thing. Or they ask the same question. Why is it so hard? Why do I have to fight so hard to get what I deserve? Why do I have to fight the government, fight the VA to get what I'm owed? Why am I fighting for my benefits, which you told me I would have if I gave my life, or if I was willing to give my life in the military? There's benefits for me doing that. Now I got to fight to get those very benefits. Somebody please explain to me how that makes sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. None of it does. The fact that we have homeless in this country doesn't make sense. One of the richest nations on the planet, if not the richest of all, we have a homeless population. Are you kidding? That doesn't make sense. But I get on my soapbox, especially when it comes to the veterans. Not that I'm not concerned about all homeless people or unhoused people, but I think it's a crying shame the way veterans traditionally have been treated, not just recently, for years and years. So thank God for Blessed to Give. Thank God for the charity. Thank God for people like you guys who are in the fight to make things better for homeless people. Thank God, thank God, thank God.
Yes, thank you, Tony. You know, I'm looking at the picture that Gwen's sharing right now, and You know, that's Veterans Row right there.
How about
And
that?
it goes on and on and on for many, many, many blocks. Many,
But you
many,
know where
many
that's
blocks.
located? Where is that
LA,
located, Liza? But where in LA?
right outside the Veterans Administration.
How about that? Right outside the
Mhm.
Veterans Administration. And on the other side of those trees is what, Liza? What's on the other side of those trees?
Beautiful green lawn that's fenced in and they
Beautiful
can't
green
go on it.
lawn, miles of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the veterans are forced to sleep on the curb. They won't even let them come on to the property, the VA, the property that they fought for, that they fought to make sure that such a place could exist. Huh? And it's their Veterans Administration and their veterans, and they can't even go on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Okay. Somebody please tell me how that makes sense. I don't see it.
No, in my opinion, the thing should have a gate on it that's locked at night, and the veterans are allowed to be there and know that they're safe because they're with each other, among themselves, and nobody can get in there to mess with them.
And see,
Instead, they're
that's a
out here
simple
on the
fix.
street to be subject to whoever's walking by and have their stuff stolen, and any car that might go crazy and run into them, you know, reckless drivers. So, and the abuse of other people passing by who have a very bad opinion of the homeless because they don't understand it.
Well, that's why I'm so grateful for the charity to be able to build and furnish and build tiny homes,
Mhm.
tiny home communities for the veterans, for the disabled, for the seniors, tiny home communities that we can fund through our charity, through the benevolence of many, 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 many people giving just a little bit of money to help. And we can
4 little
actually
quarters a week.
4 little quarters a week and
Mhm.
actually be able to effectuate change and
Mhm.
not just there in LA, but all over the country, effectuate change and
Mhm.
be able to actually house people. That's what we're really all about, I believe. It's more than anything else. It's not just about giving them a meal or helping them help sustain being in a shelter, but more housing. They are unhoused. That's what makes them homeless. So let's get them housed, and the tiny homes, the communities. Wow, that's a powerful thing, and I'm so thankful and so grateful for the charity.
So, I would say to people that if they have a problem with how many people are homeless in the streets, if it really bothers them, to get in here and be part of what we're doing. Contribute your 4 little quarters every week to the solution instead of complaining about the problem. Complaining's
Right.
never going to fix the problem. But when millions of people come together and everybody contributes that $1 a week, that 4 little quarters every single week, for every million people that do that, for every million people that do that, that's $1 million a week. And we can build so many tiny houses, develop so many little villages. And what we're first gonna do though, is build thrift stores that will take in the stuff that people don't want and convert it into even more money, so we can keep funding these little communities as we build them on the outskirts of towns where we open up thrift stores. We go there, we open up a thrift store, and then we start buying up rural property right outside of town, and we start putting in these little tiny house villages, and everybody's got a door to lock. They've got a roof over their head. They've got independence, safety, and security, and they have neighbors just like them that are people that they know, that they can count on. They can create community with each other, which is very, very important to have like-minded people living around you. Because loneliness is another big problem in this country among the elderly people, particularly. Loneliness is now being attributed to early death. It's actually considered fatal. So, we are giving them a safe place to be, prolonging their lives, and giving them community within these communities, with these little villages. So, this is a simple, easy solution to the problem. It just takes a little money, but not a lot from anybody. You know, you give as much as you can in the beginning, just give as much as you can, and as often as you can, give as much as you can, but be committed to that $1 a week. Just that little $1 a week, because combined with everybody's $1 a week, millions of people doing this means we can spread this program very rapidly throughout the country, opening thrift stores all over the country and developing these tiny house villages right there. The other thing about doing this, by Americans coming together, pulling together to resolve this issue, we keep the government from putting money into this problem, which they're just going to come back and raise everybody's taxes. And when that happens, all the landlords are just going to raise the rents that much more, and we're going to see a bigger influx of homeless people because as a result of that. So what we want to do is deal with this problem ourselves as the American people, we the people, keep the government's hands out of it so we can keep the cost of rents down for everybody else. We can take care of this ourselves. We don't need the government involved in it. We can do just as good a job, if not better, than the government. What's the government going to do? They're going to build some big structure and put a bunch of tiny little rooms in it or something, and it's going to wind up costing the American people. I mean, how many of those can they afford to build in every community? In Phoenix alone, there's over 1,000 homeless people in the zone. A little bitty area of only a few blocks, over 1,000 people are homeless there every day. Many of them senior citizens. How are you going to house that many people in every community and not have it be a tax burden to the public? So if people don't like what they see going on right now, they need to quit complaining about it and get involved with us. Commit to that $1 a week. That $1 a week isn't going to hurt anybody. Nobody's even going to miss it. $5 a month. For every million people doing that, that's $1 million per million people. If we have 5 million people doing it, that's $5 million a week coming in. With $5 million, we can probably open at least 2 or 3 thrift stores and build a whole bunch of tiny houses and acquire some land nearby to put the tiny houses on. It's not that hard to do this. It's very doable. People just have to come together. We need the masses of people getting in here doing this with us, and we need them fast. We need everybody to share the word about this fast for 2 reasons. One, because summer's coming and we're going to have a lot of people across America dying of heat stroke. Literally, the streets in Phoenix get so hot, people they're cooking. They're just cooking to death. And this is what's happening in Texas, same thing. Last summer we had days 116. Every day, homeless people, elderly homeless people, are dying in our streets prematurely because of the harsh environment. That's the number 1 reason why we need to hurry up and get this done. Number 2, if we don't hurry up and start building these little houses and get this system working, what's going to happen is the homeless population is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be a snowball effect. It's already in what I consider to be a crisis situation. Critical. It's very critical right now. It's only going to get worse. So we need to get moving here very quickly to try to catch up with that huge amount of people that's already homeless. You know, I look at some of these videos that I find on Facebook about the homeless, which is a big education on it all. It really is. And you'll be surprised how much of it is senior citizens that have never had a criminal history, never done drugs, don't drink. You'd be surprised how much of it is. Just put into a search on YouTube, put homeless, aging, and you'll see a whole lot of stuff just comes right up. And you'll learn a lot about some of these people. It's not what you think. I call it the new face of homelessness. But the other reason, there's a 3rd reason why we need to get this done, and that is to keep the government from addressing the problem, so that we can keep our taxes from being accelerated any more than they're going to be anyway. This is one less thing we can take off of the monkey off their back, so that they do not have this as an excuse to raise our taxes. Let's do ourselves a favor and get together, be united on this issue, and get these thrift stores open. Everybody contributing as much as they can, as often as they can, but at least that $1 every week. At least that $1 every week. For every million people doing it, That's another thrift store that we open up in another location that then continues to fund and provide services to that local area. Another thing the thrift stores are going to do with all that conversion of stuff that people don't want, money's going to be used to help people in the community that might be facing homelessness. Maybe it's a veteran or a senior citizen or disabled person that has housing, but they can't afford their electric bill. We're going to help them pay their electric bill. Maybe they need a little help with the rent money. We're going to help supplement them for the rent money. Homeless prevention, keeping them in the place that they are in, and then putting them on the list to go into one of these tiny houses so we can get them out of that problem of being in a place they really can't afford. So these little houses are going to be the answer to the problem, the solution to the problem. It's going to give them safety, security, and a place to call home, an actual place to call home. It's not a Band-Aid. It's not a temporary thing. They can stay there for as long as they want or as long as they need to. So anyway, we were going to share a video with you about a former social worker with a master's degree who became homeless, but it is an 18-minute video. And so I'm going to hold back on that. I'm just going to say, go to YouTube and pull this up. And it'll just kind of give you a big eye opener as to the type of people that are experiencing homeless right now that you just wouldn't even think. And also a good glimpse into what it's like to be homeless on a daily basis, some of the things you have to deal with being homeless. A lot of people think, why don't they just go get a job? When you can't wash your clothes or you don't have clothes to wash because somebody stole them, and how are you going to go get a job? If you don't have any transportation, how are you going to go around, go to interviews? And, you know, if you don't have a place to bathe, though, that is a major issue with getting employment. Not having a place to bathe. It's a major, major part of it. And people stay stuck because they need somebody to give them a hand up. There are so many people in all these videos that I wish I knew how to find them. Because as we build these tiny houses, there's definitely some people on these YouTube videos I want to see housed, and we can do it so easily, so easily. Give them that break they need in life and get back on their feet. You know, there's even a guy in here, he lost millions. I'm looking at one here, homeless man, lost millions, now lives in an Oakland tent city. The guy was a multimillionaire. Now he's homeless, living in a tent. Things happen. Things
Can
happen.
I ask,
Yes, go ahead.
what is the name of the video on YouTube you wanted us to see?
One is called the former social worker with a master's degree, homeless in Charlotte, North Carolina or South Carolina. And if you just put homeless in your search in YouTube, oh my goodness, it's just overwhelming. And if you want a big eye opener, well, put the word burn on there and see what you get. Homeless and the word burn. Scary. Scary. There are very evil people in the world with no respect for humanity. Another reason why we need to get this done so we can get these people into safe places. We really do. And, you know, it's not going to hurt anybody. At $1 a week, most of these people that are homeless themselves, they learn about this. I'm going to tell you what, when the homeless community finds out about this, they themselves will contribute that $1 a week because they know they can come up with $1, you know, here and there. They come up with $1, and even with as little as they have, they will contribute $1 a week. When they learn about this, they'll make that commitment. They themselves will become part of helping others and part of the solution, because that's the mentality of most of the homeless people. They're very misunderstood. And so, you know, just think about, you know, when you go to bed at night, you got a bed, you got a pillow, it's clean, you're protected from the rain and the cold. Just be so grateful that you have that. Don't take it for granted, and realize how blessed you are to have that, because so many don't. And more are becoming part of that population every day as they are aging out of the job industry, out of the job market, and being forced into living on their Social Security. And it's not enough. It's just not enough. You know, usually starts with somebody, a spouse dies, and now they're down to one income, or a medical issue, and they can't work, and they wind up being homeless because they got sick. So anyway, I appreciate you being here tonight. I'm going to turn this back over to, goodness, we're a lot earlier in the game than I thought we were. So, I don't know. Do y'all want to see one of these videos tonight? I thought we were
I
pretty
have
late here.
I have a good video, Lizelle. I'm just trying to pull it up. It's not on your list, but
Mhm.
I did find it. It's a older woman. Let me just get it here. While we're waiting, there is the picture for our tiny village. That is a project that is already in the works. That's Coyote Canyon.
Mm-hmm. So we already have that first tiny house village location secured, and all we need is to open a nearby thrift store to fund that. And then we move on to other areas, opening more thrift stores and more villages. So the first little village will be for our veterans. And
And there
Invite-
is the thrift stores um, that are going to provide self-sustaining
mhm.
self-sustaining help, where the stores will create the funds necessary to operate the thrift stores, open new thrift stores, and to provide the tiny house villages. So
Mhm.
this is not something that will not be able to sustain itself. So that's why it's so important for us to get the first one open.
Mhm.
Another thing, the thrift store will serve as a hub where homeless people be able to get the help they need, benefits, to get, help in getting services that they need. And so it is going to also serve as have a food pantry. So the thrift stores are going to be a community hub for homeless people.
Can you roll the video?
That's why I'm talking, so that we can get the video done. So get the video up. So this is some of the processes that are going on and that we are working to bring into fruition. So please go to the charity page and sign up. All right, so we're going to get ready to share the video that I just located here. This is the new face of homelessness.
When you become homeless, you kind of revert into this solitude. It's humiliating. I find especially the women, we don't say anything to anyone about it. My name is Judith, and I've been living in my car at 72 years old since the end of February. Good morning. I'd like a medium-sized black. Okay. I'm not always this sweet sounding either. It's a facade. It's the first thing I do when I get up and start my day. I go and get a cup of coffee. And then I head across the street to this cemetery and organize my car for the day. Now, St. Mary's Cemetery is a local place where a lot of homeless people come to. I've seen a woman my age who is currently living in the trees over here. I'm a working visual artist. I have been my whole life. Once a woman is single and aging, she has no safety net, none. For the last 5-6 years of my work life, even with my Social Security, I was not able to pay a rent with that combined income.
What were you doing?
I was working as a cashier at the Market Basket. It's not safe living like this when you're older. You have to drive everywhere you need to go. If I'm going to have something to eat, I have to go someplace to get food. If I need to use a bathroom, I have to get in the car and drive someplace. We're at my storage container, and this is where I had the movers bring all of my belongings. A lifetime of work and collecting, and this is it. I kept my drafting table, and I tried to keep it open because I was hoping that maybe I could work a little bit from here, but it's ridiculous, impossible. This is the cabinet where I keep a lot of my stored goods when I'm home. This is my son with his first tuna, and this is my children when they were little, and this is something my daughter made in school, and here's our family portrait. Bye, Steph. Here I am on the Rowley site at apartments.com, and there's one rental available, and it's for $3,500. My budget pushing it is $2,000. No one is moving anywhere because there's no place to move to. Just like crying all the time. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I don't know, I guess I expect more of myself. This is another adventure. I'm just too old for it anymore. I really understand that when you're in the middle of something, it feels like it's never gonna end. But, you know, I can't find a place. I can't find a place. I've exhausted my resources. I looked in southern Maine. I looked in southern New Hampshire. I looked in northern New Hampshire. I really looked at everything. I need help. Welcome things, welcome my cooking supplies to our new home. It's not quite real yet. I just expect it to go away at any second. Is that you, my pie? Yes, it is. It's so nice to have you living with me again. Every morning I've had my coffee and sat here looking at where I am and everything. I just cry. I just cry and be grateful. I'm very grateful.
I want to mention here that that particular woman right there is not the norm. She is extremely, extremely blessed with a $2,000 a month ability to pay $2,000 a month for a place to live. Most of the people who are homeless are living in tents. They don't have their belongings anymore. The cities have criminalized homelessness and actually come by and scoop up their little tents and whatever belongings they've been able to acquire, and they put them in dumpsters with bulldozers. That woman is nowhere near the norm of what the people her age are experiencing that are living on $500 a month, $300 a month is all they have. It's all that they have. They are totally dependent on the kindness of others, handouts, and just whatever may come their way, a little spare change. And so we're just asking you to give a little spare change to help us house those people who are so much less fortunate than that particular woman. She is absolutely the exception, not the rule. Absolutely. If you go look at the videos on YouTube, you will see that that's not the normal case at all. It's severe. There's a true
Notice,
sense of urgency to
Now-
address it.
yeah, before Gwen gets started, notice that was my state, Massachusetts. And
Mhm.
notice one of the things that was up is that Massachusetts is pretty much worse than any other state. It's set up there if you read it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's bad everywhere. It's very,
Yeah,
very,
definitely.
very.
You're absolutely. Now I want to share why I shared that video. Yeah, she had a bigger budget than
And a
most people
car.
have, and a car,
Mhm.
and yet she was still on the street for a year until a nonprofit organization stepped in to help her locate the resources. That's the power that these thrift stores will bring in every community. A resource to help the people. There are some people who are homeless not because they don't have money. $2,000, listen, let's face it, $2,000 budget in most states would be enough for something, but it is not for many, many places. So it doesn't matter if she's getting $500 or $2,000 or $3,000. If that is not enough to afford housing in the area that she lives, she is in the same predicament as someone making $500 a month. Homelessness does not discriminate. And so it's so important for people to understand that, yeah, homelessness don't just happen to broke people. Homelessness can happen to anyone. And this is the new face of homelessness. We have to get out of our heads that homeless people are bums, or homeless people are drug addicts, or homeless people are, mental. We have to get that picture out of our minds, or we will never be moved to take action. It can happen to anyone. And what helped her was that there was an organization in place that was able to help her find the resources. And that is what Bless and Be Blessed homeless prevention will provide in every community that we're in. Resources, or we're reaching out to people, finding the places, knocking on doors, making some noise, being an advocate for people who cannot advocate for themselves, just holding on. She held on. That's commendable. She held on. How many don't hold on? You know, that lady, if her car had broke down, she would have been, woo, in a world of hurt. Yeah, she's not like the average, but she was homeless. Still, homelessness does not discriminate. So we have to get on the ball, and we have to say, I'm in this. Listen, no more. Gloves are off. What can I do? Where do I put my doubt? Well, this funnel here, Lizelle, what is the
Blessed to give, blessandbeblessed.org. Blessandbeblessed.org.
that will bring you to this funnel? And this funnel has some powerful information, it has quite a few videos. It talks about our mission. It gives some powerful statistics. You're going to learn a lot when you come to this funnel. It's not just a pretty face. It has a lot of great information. And then there have some videos. This is Veterans Row. You'll find out about that. Then there's a location here where it says, click here to give your blessing. When you click there, that's going to take you to our fundraising platform where you can, and we'll take you over there in a couple of seconds. Then this funnel also talks about how homelessness is affecting senior citizens. Powerful, powerful video, tearjerker. I tell you, every evening, I think I can't be moved to tears. And that had me clutching my pearls. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. That one there tonight had me clutching my pearls. My goodness. And then here is another spot here to give your blessing. Click here. Click there. And then they're here. Then you learn all about Coyote Canyon and our project of the tiny houses. We're already stockpiling doors and windows and trailers for the houses to go on. These houses will be built out of long-lasting cedar that will stand up to all elements. The property already has running water. The infrastructure is already there. We are ready to rock and roll. Okay, and you're talking about affordable housing. These cabins cost about roughly $20,000 to build. Affordable? I'll say so. All right. And then you come on down, we have some more information, and it talks about here how you can help, how you can contribute, how you can get involved, how you can join this movement, how you can become a David in this fight against Goliath. And then another button to get you over to give your blessing. And then my favorite, there's a song here that will touch any person's heart. It'll bring a grown man to tears. It could have been me. There, but for the grace of God, it could have been me. It could have been any of us. So I think it was important for us to see this lady, not the norm. Because see, if you're rather well off and you're looking at all the poor people who only have $500, they only have $1,000 a month to their name, you might say, well, you know, I'll never be in that. I make $2,000. I get my pension is $3,000 a month. I'll never be in that situation. Well, tonight kind of put a new spin on that hypothesis. It can happen to anyone. And then finally, we have another link here, and that will take you to our platform, our End Veterans Homelessness. This is where you can join the 1 in a million Founders Club. Here you have the option to make a one-time gift. Monthly, that's where you get into when you sign up for that monthly, that's puts you in the 1 in a million Founders Club. Or yearly, you can select these predetermined amounts, 25, 50, or you can type in the amount you would like to give. Okay, it's really a really easy website. And then you select if you want it on a bank draft or a card. And that's it. And you're in. Now, people who join the 1 in a Million Founders Club will also be recognized. There will be plaques in our stores. You will receive a plaque as a 1 in a Million founder, a certificate. You will receive a certificate. Now, this is powerful, and we encourage people to not only sign themselves up in the 1 in a Million Club, because you may want to give more. We keep saying $1, but give as God lay it on your heart to do. So you may say, well, you know what? I want to give a little more. I can do it. I can give a little more. But you know what? I would love to give in memory of my mother. I'm going to enroll in the 1 in a Millions Club in my mother's honor. Your mother would get that certification. Her name would be on that plaque in the stores. Her legacy will live on. Same thing, or your dad, your kids. You know, I'm thinking of all the people that I can memorialize through this program. And so please get over here, get signed up, join the fight, and tell other people. Don't keep this wonderful secret to yourself. And I believe that, you know, sowing and reaping, as long as the earth remains, there will be sowing and reaping. Seed time and harvest. I believe that this is a beautiful place to sow a seed. I believe anyone who sows a seed in this work will receive a harvest. So yeah, tell your friends. We have 200 people in our Facebook. You can always, our hub online is our Facebook group, and that is facebook.com/bless and be blessed homeless prevention. Please go over there and not only like and join, but send out an invite to your friends list and ask them to join the fight too. All right. And then, of course, we have our YouTube channel where you can find all of the videos, The YouTube address is here on our Facebook page. And am I missing anything? I tell you, I had tears in my eyes. And Gail, Susan, thank you for pointing out that was in the state of Massachusetts, and it
Right.
says they're worse than a lot of places.
Yep. And you should get your bells and whistles out because before the call, I made a $10 donation. And I'd like to put a request out there that I'd like to see everyone match that who has not given. If you've given and it was like $5, add another $5.
Woohoo!
We like to blow the
And I'd
horns
also like to see people give more than $10 because when we were using GoFundMe, I'm the top donator with 30 at one time.
yes.
There were a couple gave 25. So right now I'm the top donator right here.
I think
Come
that's just
on.
wonderful for everybody to get in competition to see who can be the top donator every week.
Yeah. Because we're not using
Yeah.
GoFundMe anymore and I'm the top donator there.
Now
Fabulous.
you know you issue that challenge. You know I'm coming for
Yeah,
you. I'm very
that's the
competitive.
word I meant.
Alright.
I was saying request. I should say challenge to match at least.
So guys, let's get out there and reach out. There's a couple of people I'm going to mention. If you can figure out a way to wedge up in there and get a hold of these people. John Bon Jovi runs a owns a restaurant where he gives away food to the homeless. And I know he is somebody that if you can try to figure out how to get through to his people, you know, you're gonna have to talk to his people and, you know, get through to him. But I think he's somebody that definitely, I've actually seen videos of him at that restaurant washing dishes there. So, Yeah, I think it's in New Jersey somewhere. Do we have anybody here who's in New Jersey? You might go
But I'll
look up
do
that
it.
restaurant and go
I'll
give
do
him a
it.
visit.
I'll do
I'm
it.
I don't know.
We'll do it.
Beverly might know. She lives in New Jersey.
Who was that speaking?
Beverly.
No, somebody was speaking here. I'm barely hearing them.
It's me, Bonita.
Oh,
I'll
Bonita.
do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, let's get Bon Jovi going on here. We need a big spokesperson. We need some celebrity people to get in here and set the challenges for their friends to get in here and match what they're giving. You know, we really need to reach out to those philanthropists here. This is something they will get behind because this is a real solution. It's not a band-aid to the problem. It's a real solution. And it's more than just giving people meals. It's giving them meals plus a place to live. So, you know, we will be providing a lot of food to these locations, as we will be running our own food banks in these stores, and we will have a lot of food to take out to these little villages. So helping them supplement their groceries with donated food from a lot of different stores and stuff. So yeah, I think this is something we can definitely get some big players behind, as they will know that when they put their money in here, it's not just going to be putting a band-aid on somebody's problem. It's going to be fixing the overall problem of homelessness. So, particularly for our most vulnerable citizens. And yeah, so thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. And Gwen, thank you again for emceeing and doing a wonderful job. And
You're welcome.
let's get those
Thank you for
emails
the
out to
opportunity.
Yeah, let's get all those emails out. We have a beautiful email that's been written up to send out to people of faith, get it out there into the churches, get them aware of what's going on. Those are going to be the people, I think, that are going to care the most and want to get involved with us and help spread the word. So, you know, just think about it. For every million people that commit to that $1, that's $1 million every week. If we have 2 million people, that's $2 million every week. If we have 3 million people, it's $3 million every week. Every $1 million represents another location that we can open up, another store and another village and some tiny houses. That $1 million will go a long way to getting us all over the country. So how many millions of people? That's what we're looking for. Get that first million, and then all those million people go tell some more people who tell some more people, and we start to multiply by millions of people. So wonderful. Well, thank you all very much. Let's see, what are we at? We're about 2 minutes till the top of the hour. I don't know, Gwen, you want to play that little song right there? You want to hit the play button on that? And we'll just close out with our song for the evening. And all of you who are thinking about going in there to make that donation, thank you very much. We hope you'll be back here tomorrow night. Bring some friends with you.
Absolutely. Now get your tissues out, because it always makes me want to cry. Copyright sake, we must say we do not own the rights to this.
Oh, that's right.
All the people who are living in the cold
we just want to announce that we do not own the rights to the song and we give credit to the artist and creator.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight and for all you do to help us spread the word about our ambition to end this homelessness craziness and all the abuse that goes along with it. It's bad enough to be homeless, but a lot of these people are seriously being abused. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about whether you want to spend some time talking about it to somebody else. Let's get the people in here. The people, we can fix this problem. All right, I'm going to say God bless and good night. I will see you all tomorrow morning.
Are we still going to do the pledge?
Oh, yeah, yes. Let's pull the pledge up.
I have it ready from my
Alrighty.
computer.
You want to recite it, Susan?
It's up already.
Does anyone else want to?
No, we'll let you. You haven't done it much.
Okay.
yet.
Well, yeah, actually I have, but anyway. Crusaders pledge to eradicate poverty. I have been blessed with the knowledge and the weapon
I have been blessed with the
with
knowledge and the weapon
that will eradicate poverty simply and easily.
that
will
will
eradicate
eradicate poverty
poverty
simply and
simply
easily.
and easily.
I have the power and the solution
I have
I have the power and the solution
to help end the problems that poverty breeds.
to
to help in the problems that poverty breeds.
I am an intricate part of ending the suffering
I am
I am an intricate part of ending the suffering
of millions of people around the world.
of
of
millions of people around
the world.
I respect and honor the privilege and ability
I respect and
And
honor the privilege and ability
that has been bestowed on me
that
that
has
has
been
been
bestowed
bestowed
on me
on me
to make a difference in poverty.
to make
make
a difference in poverty.
I will not waste time.
I will
I
not
will
waste
waste
time.
time.
I hasten to the call of duty
I
I hasten to the call of duty
and pledge to give my best every day to this cause
and pledge
to
to
give my best every day to this cause
in the interest of all mankind.
in the interest of all mankind.
Before my God,
Before my God,
who wants his people to prosper,
who
wants
wants
his
his
people to
prosper,
I make this pledge
I make
I
this
make
pledge
and I pray for the well-being and success of all my fellow crusaders.
and I
I
pray
pray for the well-being and success of all my fellow
crusaders.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. All right, guys.
Again, I'm
God
hanging
bless
around
and
for a
good
while.
night. And thank you,
Good night,
Susan, for
You're welcome, Liesl.
stacking the deck, being an example there.
Yeah, so let's get out there and donate.
Yes. Get
One of the
those
best causes there
donations.
is.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So everyone with Zeffy needs to add their additional $5, and people who have not given yet need to at least give $10. Or if they want to top me, give more.
Yep. Do
Right
what
on,
you
right
can.
on.
I'm looking to have that title taken away from me.
I'm coming for you.
Love it. We got to get some big players in here, though, on it. Get some big players. Yep. So,
Good night,
okay,
everybody.
Gail, if you want to send me those recordings, if you've got some.
Yeah, no, I couldn't convert them while we had everything up, so I can convert them now. So it should take a little bit, but I will happily send them to
Oh,
you.
the ones from earlier today?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I can send
Right.
everything to you. Everything will
Well,
be ready. It all converts at the same time, so it's all good.
does everybody know where to find the email for the churches? I got
I
through
sent
to
out 25
Hey,
more today to churches in Dallas.
You did churches in Dallas? Wonderful.
25 of them.
TD Jakes is in Dallas too. So,
There's an Ed, somebody that's real popular, wrote books and stuff
mhm.
that's got a church there in Dallas. I've seen him once.
I actually called Cornerstone Church today in San Antonio, which is where, they've got different campuses, but
Uh-huh.
John Hagee and his son actually do live services from the San Antonio locations. I called there today and I talked to the person who answered the phone, and I asked her, what's the best way for me to get an email to John Hagee?
Mm-hmm.